That's right, guys, we're back. We're back with more FortNite x Nerf, which is all over the box. And we're back with the traditionally very dull Mall Ninja Karambit. And this is the FortNite ARL, aka the Scar from the game. And I mean, this is, I think, the most ambitious Nerf blaster ever. And I feel that way for a couple of different reasons. I think that it's very ambitious to give away such a chunk of their profits and creative control over to a video game company, but I also think that this is the closest we've ever gotten to flirting with real, aside from maybe the Scout back in the day and its possible repercussions just because of how small and its form factor was. Like, this is very much so a cartoon version of a Scar. However, it is cartoonized. It's the same thing that makes FortNite goofy and fun brought to real life, and I think that that is really, really cool for those people who are really into that aesthetic and want that kind of tactical but still very fun and toy-like. I think that it's going to do an excellent job of delivering on that. So, for 50 United States dollars, what do you get? Well, you get all of this, which is to say the blaster, a bunch of darts, and a single goofy oversized magazine. Real quick, before we're done with the box, there's a mega tactical shotgun coming out. More on that later. Now, this is very interesting. We've got custom FortNite darts, but I don't really care about what color the darts are. Like, I am not personally a dart collector with the exception of the Spider-Man darts. I think that those are really sweet. The really cool thing about this is 10-round clip and capacity. Hasbro calls them clips. We know that they're magazines in terms of technically, but color aside, exclusivity aside, this is 20 darts. That means that this is double your darts, which is amazing to see. This is premium product pricing, and so to get a premium product feature like double the ammo capacity is not only very sweet, but also like unusual. Like, that doesn't happen very often. Normally, the money stays where it is, and especially when they have to share it with Epic Games, I would not have expected a sneaky breaky double darts package from Hasbro right here, right now. But we should be able to free this from its cardboard prison in here and take a look at it overall. All right, excellent. So no longer at Toy Fair, we can really get a feel for the form factor of this thing and perhaps be slightly more critical than we were at the show. So with batteries in, the balance is actually quite nice. It brings some weight up forward. We'll put batteries in between now and our firing segment, but I'm pretty positive it takes 4 AA's up in here. Now, this jam door is actually quite good. I love how flush it is. Like, it does not open or get rubbed up against. I think that that's pretty sweet. The FortNite styling is amazing. I know that a lot of people have been talking about, like, oh, I can't wait to sand off the FortNite logo. And I honestly don't think that the FortNite logo is out of place. If anything, I'm a little disappointed that once again, we have full deco on this side with painted bits. The Nerf logo is painted and the FortNite logo is painted. And then on this side, nothing. So the label to camera nature of the blaster looks really, really good. But the side with all of the copy and caution text on it is a little bit bland, a little bit boring. I love the adjustable sight here. I think that that's ultra levels of sweet. And the only thing that I want to talk about, and I'm pretty sure that this was a condolence for the size that the blaster was going to take up on shelves and not actually for the cartoon-like nature of it in the game. Because in the game, I feel like it's sized a little bit more appropriately. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a direct render of the game specs. It's hard for me to say, but this stock is comically too short. That's about where I want to stock. That's where I want a stock to be. That's where I'll tolerate a stock. We're still a good, like, 2.5, 3 inches from there. And so, like, this is very choked up, very, very comically short, very uncomfortable, and it doesn't fold or do anything. It's just a big old chunk of plastic completing that pseudo Scar aesthetic. But it definitely has the Das Boot shaping that we expect from a Scar or an ARL. Now, the magazine only being 10 darts is a little disappointing when you consider how incredibly large the magazine has to be to give it that cartoonized styling. But again, in an increasingly contentious world, like, the more cartoonized something that looks like this looks, the safer and more fun it's going to be. Similarly, I have no issues with it being yellow. I think that the yellow actually looks quite striking, quite handsome. I think that the scar in the game is like a desert tan, but this feels very old school N-Strike to me. And given that the N-Strike Alpha Trooper is like one of my favorite blasters of all time, the black and yellow is super duper cool on this. If you don't know what I'm talking about in terms of N-Strike colors, that means you're a FortNite fan and not a Drac fan. So it would mean the absolute world of me if you would smash that subscribe button, go ahead and ding my bell, like, comment, subscribe, hashtag YouTube jargon. But for the sake of convenience, I'll go ahead and throw up a picture of an N-Strike blaster just up here. You might recognize the Maverick more than anything else, but this is a really iconic color styling from like the early 2000s of Nerf. Now, that kind of covers the overall aesthetics, some of the choices, what I like, what I don't like. The muzzle is aggressive and cartoony and plenty of orange, which I think is very important, and I like everything about it as well. We've got a lot of barrel drag built into this, but I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue, especially at stock performance levels. Nothing to it but to do it. Let's go ahead and throw some of these special edition darts in this special edition magazine. Let's take it downstairs. Let's put it over the chronograph. Let's fire it a few times, and then we'll tell you the all-important answer to the question, is it worth 50 bucks? All right, guys, so we're out here with the FortNite Scar. You can see we've got a fully loaded magazine. I still like that the llama is hidden on the magazine. I think that that's a really cute, really cool little touch. I noticed it at Toy Fair, but I'm noticing it all over again out here. Now, we're going to put it over the chronograph, and then I grabbed an actual genuine, I guess they're both genuine, but an original Nerf 6 clip. I almost never use these for anything, but I'm going to use those to put a few of these FortNite pew-pews downrange. Let's get the FPS data for you first. Before we do that, though, it's got a little bit of a spin-up time, and then it feels like almost breaking built into the circuit. Now, a lot of the time, some of these Star Wars blaster tie-ins, etc., they do seem to shoot a little bit softer because they're a little bit safer. I guess this is obviously a property that's very kid-oriented, and so the blasters might be shooting a little bit softer because of that. That said, it could also be that while these batteries are new in that I've never used them for anything before, they are old in that they're new old stock in that I think I've had them for like 2 years. So anything is possible. If these FPS readings are a little bit low, I'm expecting between 60 and 70, but we'll see what happens. Okay, we're getting mid-40s, and I am positive that that is just a result of the batteries being very, very low. I think that this will be hitting like much harder with fresh ones. Obviously, anything that runs on 4 alkalines for a nominal voltage of 6 is going to be pretty low by average Nerf standards. However, this is largely designed to be an aesthetic blaster, and that kind of gets me to my final thoughts. I mean, I could fire a couple of these downrange, but they're not going to do anything. The ranges are going to be very poor, and I mean, I can't remember the last time I needed AA's outside of a review, so always using brand new AA's for reviews and then leaving the blasters or donating the blasters with batteries in them has just completely killed my stock of batteries, the same way that this plane flying overhead is killing my audio quality. So in conclusion, buy new batteries, but most importantly, highly recommend deciding whether or not this blaster is right for you based on your aesthetic preferences. Like, you're gonna know whether or not you're a FortNite fan. If you're a FortNite fan, this is a sweet Nerf blaster with a time-tested semi-auto flywheel internal set. It'll do whatever you want. It could hit high FPS, it could hit low FPS, you could change the rate of fire if you really wanted to. Like, this is a very versatile platform. Now, if you're a FortNite hater, then I highly recommend, and I'm gonna go a little off script here, like, normally I would say this is a stryfe reshell, you should buy a stryfe. That said, stryfes are getting more expensive all over again, and the profile of this really isn't stryfe-esque, so modulus. Like, this is very similar to the modulus in terms of its overall performance, its ergonomics, and its potential. Now, what do both of those things have in common? Well, other than both being Nerf blasters, the main thing that they have in common is that you can buy both of them on Walmart.com. I got you. No, I'm still very grateful. Hasbro sent this over for free, but there are pre-orders for it right now on Walmart.com, and I guess you could get the modulus on Walmart.com as well if you just really want a blaster that kind of is this shape and size but want to pay half as much money. I will link to both of them down in the description box below. Again, any clicks or purchases through those links seriously help out the channel. We are trying to build this relationship with Walmart, and the FortNite blasters are the way to do it. So thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you think of the FortNite ARL in the comments section down below. As always, much love. Nerf on Drac out.